Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Kessel. Welcome back to STEAM Enrichment. This week, we are going to continue with what we started last week, where we learned about the International Space Station, and we got to see a real astronaut read to us from outer space. If you watched that, I'm sure you thought it was so cool like I did. I loved watching the astronaut float around while she read her book and answer questions about space. And I thought the story was really cool too. So, since this is the first week of February, some of you might have started talking about in your class with your teachers that February is Black History Month. So this month, we are going to be studying some really cool African American STEM people. So people who are in science and technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. And because last week we started learning about outer space, I thought we would start with my all-time favorite astronaut, Mae Jemison. So Mae Jemison, it was the first African-American woman to ever go into outer space. And like I said, she's my favorite astronaut so much that I even have a Lego that looks like her. So today we're going to get to read a picture book about Mae Jemison and what it was like for her growing up. And we're going to learn some information about her. Let's take a look. So this is a real photograph of Mae Jemison. This is her in one of her astronaut outfits with her helmet. And like I said, she was the first African-American woman to ever go into outer space. And this is what Mae Jemison looks like now. But this is what she looked like when she went to outer space. So first, let's start with this book. It's called Mae Among the Stars.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Sankofa Read Aloud. Today's story is titled Mae Among the Stars, written by Rhoda Ahmed, illustrated by Stasia Burrington. I hope you guys enjoy this beautiful story. Little Mae was a dreamer. They say that daydreamers never succeed, but little Mae was different. One day, Mae was working on an assignment for school about what she had wanted to be when she grew up. What will you tell them, Mae? I will tell them I want to see Earth. This is Earth, Mae, her mother said. The flowers, the grass, the forest, and the mountains. We live on Earth. I know, but I want to see Earth from out there. That's an amazing plan, little Mae. Then you have to become an astronaut. That way you can see Earth from space. Astronaut? Do you think I could do that? Of course you can if you can dream it, if you believe it and work hard for it. Anything is possible. Mae asked her mom to take her to the library. She searched for books about space and astronauts. After dinner, Mae drew pictures of space, and she even made her own astronaut costume out of old orange curtains and cardboard boxes. Later, she asked her dad, "But how do I become an astronaut? It seems impossible." "You will find your way, Mae, because if you dream it, believe in it, and work hard for it, anything is possible. But space is so far away. It's closer than you think, little Mae, and you may get to there sooner than you think." That night, Mae had a happy dream. She was dancing in space, surrounded by billions of sparkling stars. Below her, she could see Earth floating and turning like a shining crystal ball. The next morning, Mae told her parents about her dream. She wanted to tell everyone, and every time she talked about it, her eyes would light up. In the classroom, Miss Bell told everyone to stand in line on the rug. Today, we are going to share our dreams about the future. What do you want to be, and what do you want to do when you grow up? Who wants to go first? I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a teacher. Football player. I want to be a mom. I want to go to space. I want to be an astronaut. All the kids started laughing. Miss Bell asked, "Mae, are you sure you don't want to be a nurse? Nursing would be a good profession for someone like you." "I don't want to be a nurse. I want to be an astronaut." At home, Mae started crying. Miss Bell said, "I can't become an astronaut." "What a silly thing to say," said her mother. "She told me I should be a nurse instead, said Mae. Her mom wiped away her tears. "My dear Mae, I hope you didn't believe her. Of course I believed her. She's my teacher. I'm sorry Miss Bell didn't encourage you, but she can't stop you. No one can stop you. Follow your dream, Mae, and go to space. Thank you, Mom. I promise when I get to space, I will wave to you and Dad from the spaceship. Her mom took her hand and they started dancing. You must always repeat to yourself, if I can dream it, if I can believe in it, and if I work hard for it, anything is possible. Mae went on dreaming, believing, and working really hard. And guess what? She went to space and waved to her mom and dad on Earth. Dr. Mae Jemison. Mae Carol Jemison was born October 17, 1956 in Decatur, Alabama. Mae always loved science. She loved being outside and looking up at the stars, knowing that one day she would travel to space. Mae is highly educated. She graduated from Morgan Park High School in 1973, and at the incredible age of 16, she enrolled at Stanford University, earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Chemical Engineering in 1977. After Mae got her MD in 1981 from Cornell Medical College, she briefly worked as a general practitioner before leaving to work with the Peace Corps as a medical officer in Liberia and Sierra Leone. When she returned home, Mae decided to follow her childhood dream of going to space, and she accomplished many firsts. She applied to NASA's astronaut training program on June 4, 1987, was accepted. She became the first African-American female astronaut on September 12, 1992. Mae's dream finally came true when she traveled to space on the Shuttle Endeavour mission, STS-47. It was then that Mae officially became the first African-American woman in space. Mae left NASA in 1993 and became the first real astronaut to act in an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. Today, she heads the Jemison Group and the Dorothy Jemison Foundation for Excellence. Mae speaks fluent Russian, Japanese, and Swahili.
Hey. All right, boys and girls. So as you can see, Mae Jemison is a very impressive woman. Not only is she an astronaut, but she's also a doctor. She has a degree to be a doctor and a biochemical engineer. So she's gone to a lot of school. Now, let's hear a few words from Mae herself. Yes, she is still alive. I know you guys are going to ask me this. Yes, she is still alive. And so this is a video of Mae talking to us.
I grew up in the 60s. I lived on the south side of Chicago. And I was a young girl who loved to stare up at the stars. I imagined myself going there. I studied all the things about the Apollo program. I knew what mission was going to take place when, what it was supposed to accomplish. I decided to go to medical school because I wanted to do something called biomedical engineering. While I was in medical school, I had the opportunity to go and work in a Cambodian refugee camp. I went on a study group in Cuba. I worked with the flying doctors in East Africa. But I still wanted to go into space, so I applied. I picked up the phone. I called down to Johnson Space Center. I said, I would like an application to be an astronaut. They didn't laugh. I turned in the application. There may be a certain naivete when I say, when I applied to the astronaut program, I didn't even think about the fact of whether I would be the first African-American woman in space or anything like that. It didn't even cross my mind. I wanted to go into space. I couldn't have cared if there had been 1,000 people in space before me or whether there had been none. I wanted to go. I thought it was important to take to space with me things that represented people who sometimes are not included. So I took a poster of Judith Jamison performing the dance cry. I took up a Bundu statue, which was for the Women's Society in West Africa. I took up a flag for the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, the oldest African-American women's sorority in the United States, because they hadn't been included, and I thought that was an important thing to do. For me, the experience was one that made me feel very connected with the universe. I felt my being was as much a part of this universe as any star, as any comet. It helped me to recognize that right now, we're in space. This Earth is part of that universe. that was my grand connection. And then I looked down and I saw Chicago. I thought about the little girl who had assumed she would go into space. What would my younger self have thought if she met me? And I think she would have been tickled.
So as you can see, there was no one like Mae that had ever gone to space. So she had never seen anyone that looked like herself going to space. But she took her mom's advice when she was young. And her mom and dad said, if you can dream it, if you can believe it, and if you work hard, you can do it. So here's what I would like you guys to do for me today, okay? I want you to think of, what is your dream? What do you dream of becoming or doing when you are older? Do you want to be an astronaut? Do you want to be a teacher? Do you want to be a firefighter? Do you want to explore caves? What do you want to do when you grow up? What is your dream? And remember, just because someone who looks like you maybe hasn't done it before doesn't mean that you can't do it, okay? So I want you to stretch into your brain, and today your assignment after watching this video is to tell me what your dream is. And then I want you to tell me what steps you're going to take to reach your dream. So for Mae to become an astronaut, she had to study hard in school. She had to study science and math. She had to go to college and become a doctor. She had to get a degree in biochemical engineering. And then she had to apply to be an astronaut, right? So what are some things you're going to have to do to reach your dream? That's what I want to know. That's what you're going to tell me today on Schoology. So to do this, when you click on the assignment, what I want you to click when you click the Submit Assignment button, you have options. I want you to click the one that says Create. And when you click the Create button, there will be a space then where you can type. So I want you to tell me, what is your dream for when you grow up, and what are you going to have to do to reach that dream? Because if you can dream it, if you can believe it, and you work hard, you can do it. I can't wait to hear about all your dreams, and I hope the wonderful Mae Jemison inspired you to dream big, because that's exactly what Mae did. Tell me about your dreams, and I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.